All
There we
right.
go.
I appreciate your patience, bro, because it was a little bit of a challenge getting you in. So I appreciate you keeping on trying to get in.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm not really too tech savvy, so this has been a challenge. I'm like, my computer's not working, my other computer's not working. Maybe if I just do my phone. So I'm using my phone.
Hey, we'll take the way where we can get, as long as we got you on, bro. That's all I want, brother. As long as we got you on. So, we are excited to have you on. And hold on one sec, bro, because we gotta share this screen because before we get started, your girl had to stop in and say, and welcome on.
Oh yeah, we do. So
So
good.
how you been? Yeah, so how's your week been, brother?
I'm busy. What did we do yesterday? I went live with B yesterday for the Death Troopers drop. And then on Friday, I did Aloha Friday with D and Hananu. So yeah, it's been back to back days of just hanging out with good people, doing live streams, and just chatting about NFTs and life. So no complaints.
X. Okay, okay. And how's your brother doing?
Good, good. He and I had to we attended a wedding yesterday. A friend of ours, his daughter was getting married, so we had to go and kind of just show our love, hang out, celebrate with them. Yeah, because we known her since she was a child, and here she is getting married. So it's kind of you kind of just sit back and go, man, I'm old. What's going on?
I cannot tell you how funny that is to me because I feel the same exact way. I said something to my wife in church, like some guy had on like this really nice hat, dress hat. I was like, babe, I think I'm gonna start wearing dress hats. She looked at me, she's like, you're getting so old. Uh, you start, but yeah. So, but anyway, for those of the collecting community who don't know you so far, which all of us pretty much do, but for those collectors who don't, would you mind telling them who is Fro in one sentence, and kind of how you found this community and a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, yeah. I'm a collector first and foremost, man. Like I've always been collecting all my life. As far back as I can remember, we'd go to like spot meets, flea markets, and we just kind of I guess treasure hunt is what we called it. We'd, on weekends, like we go we hit the flea markets and split up and just kind of try to buy cool things that we wanted. And then if we didn't find the stuff that we wanted, we always had to end up going to like Walmart or antique shops to find the stuff that we wanted. So yeah, over the years, it's been collectible things, stamps, coins, cards, memorabilia, definitely toys, uh, and books, some books, all that kind of led us down to VeVe because of the nostalgia of all the cool stuff that we were collecting when we were kids, and we see the Batman, we see the Superman, we see the Amazing Spider-Man, and yeah, man, and we just kind of connect with a lot of really cool individuals with like minds and the same passion we have for collecting, and that's how I met you. So yeah,
Yeah,
you're just inspiration as well because I've seen how you collect, what you
yeah.
collect, and
Appreciate you, brother.
yeah, yeah, it just kind of it helps people, I want to say, find that one thing that sparks interest for them in the love and just go kind of just head first into it. Just collect what you love. Not so much collecting because you're thinking it's gonna maybe one day 10 times or 100 times, but if it does, great. If it doesn't, then no loss there either. If you're buying stuff that you thoroughly enjoy and thoroughly enjoy collecting. So yeah, and that's where I think my brother and I kind of sit with that. We're just buying things that we like that resonates with us, and we like showing off in AR to other people. So that's kind of where we are. Just as far as collectors, just find everything that we like and love, man. So yeah, I think you're doing the same, right?
Yeah, man, absolutely. And it's funny that you said something that I myself, flea markets, my dad was an antique collector. So I spent every Saturday at the flea market with my dad. You're the only other person so far that I've talked to that has mentioned the flea market and going there collect because that was the hunting ground at the flea
Yes.
market.
Yeah, no,
Now, question for you. So, did you and your brother come in at the same time, or did one of you get there before the other and brought the other one in?
same exact time. We have a cousin who came over for one of the events right before Thanksgiving, and he's like, "Hey, dudes, check this out!" And we're like, "What is it?" He's like, "It's an NFT." We're like, "Oh, no, not NFTs, man. You know, no, we don't. It's just a Bored Ape thing. What are you about to show us?" He goes, just hear me out. So he brought up might have been, it was a zombie Captain America. So
Okay.
he kind of shows us what it was in my living room. He's like, Fro, why don't you go stand next to it? I'm like, stand next to what? And he was like, this on the phone. I'm like, oh, whoa, how'd you do that? And then he's moving around in the living room and it's kind of doing all the angles because he has it in AR. And I go, that's actually pretty cool. So he then goes, Fro, stand right next to it. He does a photo thing. And I'm like, hey, text me that photo. And that's how the rabbit hole started, man. Just kind of went boom from there. So my brother Nana and I were looking at each other like, dude, this is next level stuff, and never looked back after that. So
Okay. Now, what was your first collectible? Do you remember?
I do. It was during the Golden Moments drop. I went for every single one of them, like the Homer, the Bart, the Avengers. Missed out on Elsa, and the only one I hit was the Walt.
Dude, are you
So
serious?
yeah, I was like, it's 333. I'm diving head first into it. So we loaded up our wallets, my brother and I. And I think he was at his house at the time. And I was sitting in my living room and I'm sitting there pressing this buy now button. And I finally got it. And I still have it in my wallet to this day. Like I'm the only owner of that wallet with that mint. So yeah, I got it to 40, 50K and I still refuse to sell, man. Like, and it's the very first collectible for me, man. So it has sentimental value. I could not let that
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. No, man, I totally get it. And what a first collectible that is. I was not that lucky. The only hit one out of all of the complete set. I only hit one golden moment, and it was the last one for the lamp. All of the rest I never got. So, so hey, I wish I would have got the partners, but I take the lamp, right? So I still have that though, just FYI. I still have the lamp and the Disney D in my collection. So, and I'm a huge Golden Moments fan, as you know, huge Walt fan. So it is definitely my favorite set that I own. And I do own two sets. So, I did want to get up there, but then you get into the special mint collecting and that hunt. That's a different ball game. But Fro, my friend, you are also a hunter of a special mint. Can you kind of tell me a little bit of the background about that and how you kind of got attached to that number?
Yeah, yeah. So the mint number that I always seek out is 2099, the Marvel Universe 2099. Growing up as kids, comic book era, that was kind of like the mint number that stuck out to me the most because it was everywhere you looked. There was Doom 2099, Punisher 2099, Spider-Man 2099, Men 2099, and I'm like, and and the thing was, I had them all. So coming over to VeVe, I saw one on the market. I'm like 2099, and I go, "Duh, I better not, because if I do this, it's gonna be bad." And I'm like, dude, just get it, bro. So I ended up getting it, and it's I think I have over maybe 160 or
Wow.
150 2099 mints. Um it started out mainly as going for the mint numbers for collectibles that are in the Marvel 2099 universe, like the Spider-Man, the Doc Ock, the Iron Mans, the Hulk 2099, and which I did because some certain mints don't go like the rarities don't go up that high to 2099 because they stop at maybe 1,000 or 500. So the ones that do go up to 2099, I was really reaching out to other collectors, just DMing them and going, "Hey, I know you have this mint. Are you interested in selling?" Same for the comic books also. And yeah, I went down that rabbit hole and I just started buying and buying, adding more gems to the app and buying. So once I got to a point where I'm like, I'm running out of Marvel 2099 collectibles to buy that are showing up. And then Batman 2099 showed up. I'm like, do I do Batman? He's not part of the 2099 universe, but it's 2099. So I started buying Batman. I started buying um the Batmobile, or not the Batmobile, the what's that? The 2099 the James Bond motorcycle,
Okay.
and then I bought the James Bond vehicle, the Aston Martin, the 2099, and that just opened up the doors for everything else, man. I started just randomly buying anything that was 2099, and yeah, sometimes I probably shouldn't have done what I did because I floor was like maybe $10, and I'm over here paying 200 for it. It's so yeah, man. It got kind of pretty dicey at times, but as a mid
Fair
hunter.
enough. Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah. You know what, Fro? So, we're going to talk about Electra, but first things first, you are the funniest content creator on X. So, like, how did this start? You got to share with me, how did this content start? What sparked the need to do it? And brother, it has just ran. Everyone looks forward to all of your content. So,
thank you. Thank you for the kind words. I think it all started off with just we're sitting at our sister's house, and Anon's like, "Hey, Fro, I got this idea." And this is after we're doing a couple of shots of whiskey. Like we're sipping the whiskey and a couple glasses deep, and I go, "Man, is what do you got?" He goes, "Hey, since we love using AR so much and we're doing AR photos, what if we did AR like you in the video?" And I'm thinking, okay, like where's this going? Like it is gonna be like informative where hey, here's me going for a drop and yay, I secured the drop and then happy thumbs up, like yay, I won, yay. Like nah, we're not doing that. That's too easy. And he's like, we gotta get it to where we got you doing something where it's gonna make people laugh, it's gonna make going for drops enjoyable, and it's gonna like all around good vibes, good humor, and all in good fun. And I go, all right. So then the wig came about because it just can't be just you, man. You got to do something. Like we got to get you with the wig, and then I had the hat and two and two together, wig and the hats. And that day for filming, I was wearing the jean shirt. Like I've got like three of these now because man, through shooting they get damaged, falling out of trees and stuff, tripping on rocks. So I think this is like the third one. And I so happened to be wearing a jean shirt and it kind of stuck. And he goes, hey, I think that'll work. So yeah, we did one where it was kind of the most interesting man in the world with the Heineken commercial, or the beer commercial.
uh-huh.
And oh yeah, this one is the where Coke collectibles are kind of being neglected. And just
Yeah.
for a few gems you could help Coke neglect. Yeah, that one was his he thought of all that and he just had me pose and do whatever he thought would work. And I guess the end result, I never questioned him at all, but at the end he put it all together and it came out yeah, I think very, very funny. I think
I would agree with you. And what? I have to play it really quick, Pro. I don't want
play
to
it,
cut you off,
play
but for
it.
those who have not seen this, you have to watch it. So, all right, here we go. So when I saw that one, oh man. So what has been your favorite one so far? I'm curious.
The one I liked the most shooting was the one we did for the Omi Olympics. It was
You said,
during the Olympic Games. It was a Summer Olympic Games, and then we did the Omi Olympics.
yeah, I'm trying to find it. So while we're talking about this, and I'm trying to find that one. Where did your love from Electra come from? Because everyone knows Electra's your girl, the best VB collectible on the app, according to you.
The best, yeah. So growing up, it's always been kind of like we grew up with the Jim Lee era where he was just drawing amazing figures, and it like the way he drew all the heroines like for X-Men. Then he did the Gen 13. I remember looking at Daredevil comics. I'm like, this is kind of like the gal that I lean towards just because of the red and how fierce and how much of a kick-ass star she is. It's always been in the back of my mind. And we went to Comic Con one year, maybe 2017. or 2018, and I seen this cosplayer, and she was dressed up as Electra, and my God, like it was just, perfect, just nail on the head. She hit everything, like with the hair, the bandana, like the red boots, and she even had like the fake swords, the plastic swords, the size, and it was just like jaw dropping moment. Like, and she was gorgeous. She was like a 10 out of 10. It was like watching a runway model like doing cosplay, and she had a lot of people around her, and I just kind of found this, little moment in time where I could just, excuse me, can I get a photo, please? And then boom, went took a photo. The rest was history. I'm like, this is it. This is this is Electra. It's my girl. And when she dropped on the app, and no one's like, oh, dude, your girl. And then it just, and I think his first reaction was, why does she look like that? And, and I was like, oh my God, like you had to know the backstory about I guess they had hired a company to start the AR portion, and that company ended up not being able to fulfill I guess the digital collectibles for all the rarities, I think, and another company stepped in, took over the creation of it, or trying to finish up what they started, but did their own thing. So it was like a mashup of two different companies trying to create Electra, I guess. And the end result's what we have, man. Like it's, long hair, long neck, don't care, I guess.
You know what, bro? I never knew that about that background about Electra. So I
Yeah.
appreciate you sharing that. That collectible is definitely one of a kind. Good, bad, or indifferent. It is definitely it is a grail in its own right. I will say, because I don't know if that's worse than the Lord of the Rings from whichever one where it looked like he had like a cup hand. Yeah, because that one was pretty bad. Electra's not that bad, but for VeVe standards, she was struggling a little bit. So
Yeah, yeah, compared to, like, the Predator, yeah, it's
yeah, yeah,
different.
yeah, yeah. So did you go for the Predator?
I did. I ended up getting the common, I believe, or the
Okay,
uncommon, but I went back and I got the, other ones that, except for the UR, I don't think I got the UR, but I went and bought in the market the crafts, so
it's nice. Yeah, yeah. That collectible is absolutely amazing. Just FYI, there you go. But yeah, that one is one of my favorites. Growing up watching Aliens and Predators, Predators and Aliens, all of that good stuff. So I
mm,
did go for that. The detail is just amazing for that one. But for you, I do have a question for you. What do you feel is the most underrated collectible on VeVe outside of Electra?
wow, great question. An underrated collectible, one that gets overlooked a lot, I would say is Wendy from Peter
Wendy?
Pan.
Okay.
Yeah,
First one for
because
that. Okay.
if you, I mean, it's a great looking collectible first. That Peter Pan drop was kind of like something that I remember growing up watching as a young child, and as you got older, I ended up going and buy the book. I have the one of the I don't have the first mint. I have maybe it's like second or third print run, and because I collect books as well, and
Okay.
that was something I kept pulling lever on to try to get Wendy, and
Okay.
I think it was 25 gems per pull, and I might have been 10 maybe 12 into it. And I didn't get Wendy, and I just ended up going right to the market to buy her, and
Okay.
the edition size was what kind of drew me in. It's very, very low mint edition sizes for Wendy. And yeah, every time I look at Wendy in the market, I'm thinking to myself, it's crazy how people just kind of overlook it. Not because it's like a really good looking collectible, it doesn't have any moving parts. It's just, what it means to me, kind of growing up with hearing Peter Pan, watching the movies, all the different renditions of the movies, all the series. Yeah, he's one of those characters where I'm like, I'm pretty sure they made her the secret rare for a reason. Yeah, that's one of the ones that I talked to Non about. I don't think he agrees, but it's just my thoughts.
No, I'm from that same era too, so I totally get it. And you're right, I never really thought about it, but any type of Peter Pan movie that comes on, I have to watch it, no matter what it is. So you are absolutely right. Kind of growing up in that nostalgia area, it's just one of those things. It's kind of part of I want to say your DNA.
Hmm.
For me, I was just talking to Magic and we were talking about Fantasia. And it's like, for me, that is my Grail Mickey. Because I remember going, we're a little bit older, Fro. So I remember
Yeah,
going to the
yeah.
library in the basement and watching Fantasia, and the little popcorn machine and that. So the kids are like, watching movies at the library. So I do remember those days. But and that's the good thing about VeVe. I mean, what they're covering is not only, current things, but they're going back into nostalgia. And man, I'll tell you, just the detail that they put and the effort that they put into it and the thought behind the mint sizes. And I know that some mint sizes are a little high for where we are right now. I totally get it. But as we both know, man, I remember when there was a time where 60,000, you were like, man, that's going to sell out. 60,000, there's not going to be enough for us, right? Now it's like, we look back at that and I think that we forget where we came from. We get so spoiled, right? We have so many great drops coming. I'm excited about the Airbender drop. Just FYI, I was chatting about that before you jumped on. Huge Aang fan, so I'll be going for that. But a question for you, like, what would you like to see out of VV over the next like year or so, or maybe something that you would like to see come to VV? Because I feel like they're doing a really great job and not only building on their brand, but continuing to grow and develop while the market is down. So what would you like to see and maybe like a collectible that you would like to see on the app?
You know, I'm a huge, huge Transformers collector. Like if we got Transformers and the collectible transforms, you get Optimus Prime transforming, from the rig back to robot form and vice versa. Oh man, that'd be insane. Like I think that'd be the end all be all for me is Transformers doing that on VV for me.
Mm. Yeah, I can't argue with you on that. Especially with the quality that we're getting nowadays, not only would the animation be killer, but man, the detail on Optimus and Bumblebee and all of those would just be yeah, 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 yeah. I'm totally with you on that. What about something that you would like to see from VV maybe that you haven't seen so far?
Man, that's a good question. I've always wanted to know if Vivi were ever going to kind of follow up on, and this is something David you had mentioned, like maybe about 2 years back, is you're going to be able to burn collectibles to gain a new collectible that's not going to be able to be purchased in the market. Meaning, let's say if um let's see a good one. Maybe the Disney Castle comes out, but in order to get the Disney Castle, because you can't buy it, you'd have to burn maybe 5 commons, 4 uncommons, 3 rares, 2 rares, and 1 secret rare of anything to get that one collectible. And it'll be kind of like a first come, first serve basis with a limited edition of maybe, I don't know, 3,000 or something. Because, I mean, you're going to be giving collectors something that they really, really would want. But at the same time, everyone's included because you don't have a price point on it. It's not, for 300 gems or it's not 100 gems. It's anyone in the app who is willing to burn 5 commons, 4 uncommons, 3 rares, 2 ultra rares, and 1 secret rare of anything to obtain that. You limit the supply of the collectibles that you are burning, and that helps with the market. And the ones that do not burn that one certain collectible, it kind of increases in value because the mint quantity would be a lot less. So I mean that'd be something really cool. And David did talk about doing that, but I'm not sure if he said comic books would have been something that would have been included, or if it would have been just something like maybe collectibles only at that time. But I mean, yeah, dude, that'd be you burning secret rares to get something cool, and I mean that'd be something I thought would be announced a while back, but it never did. So I don't know if they're moving forward with that or not, but I think it'd be a cool idea if they did.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I know one thing for sure. If they were like, hey, if you burn one full set of the golden moments to get the castle, yeah, one of my sets are gone. I want the
Ooh,
castle bad. I want that castle
yeah,
bad. I would burn one full set to get that castle.
man.
So you're absolutely right. But so for kind of getting into, outside of just regular collecting, I mean, obviously, when, as you mentioned in the beginning, a lot of people, when they think of collectors or they think of that, they don't necessarily see the connections that you make that you discussed, right?
Hmm.
And how, you get an opportunity to meet like-minded people like yourself and go to events. And then, these people really do become like family and friends, and they're from all over the world. So kind of share with me, obviously I met you at the VV 5-year anniversary party in Vegas. So that was a lot of fun. It was great to meet you in person because you're like a celebrity. So it was like, to meet you there was amazing. And I know someone gifted you a 2099 comic as well while we were
Yeah.
there. But so do you always go to cons, and then kind of like tell me, how has it been for you going and connecting with different collectors as well?
Man, like every single event Anon and I we've gone to, I mean, it's just nothing but love. Like it's always, they've did the same thing we did, was get into a vehicle, hop on a plane to travel, to go and meet the VV team, meet other members of the VV community. So everyone's showing up with a positive attitude, positive mindset, and you're going to meet some, with the intention of meeting really cool people, hearing their stories, how they got into collecting, and what drives them, their favorite collectible. So it's been an amazing journey. Like for all the Comic Cons, the decons, the VV meetups that we've done, it's something you really can't explain unless you're there, right? Like, it's kind of hard for me to explain to like anyone else about the Vegas meetup that we just did. I mean, I probably could try to explain it to the best of my ability, but you're missing that factor of just being there in the moment. And that's what
Yeah.
it's all about. Like when we're outside hanging out and looking around, like David U's right there, Dan's right there, and like VV Magic's right there, Emoji's right there, D Hanano's right there. And it's just kind of, you're in the moment. You're like, man, like all of the people that you see online, they're real people and they're here.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
walk up and shake their hands. Yeah, it's cool, man. Like it's one of the things you would always cherish, is meeting the people you see online, meeting the people you DM chat with through X, and yeah, like you, like we hanging out talking, didn't realize we had so much in common, and we'd have never known that
No,
had we not
man.
met in person. So yeah, man.
You know, yeah, and you're absolutely right, man. For me, so this was my first year going to VB events, right? So I went to New York Comic Con and I went to Vegas. Now, New York Comic Con was a little much for me going to like the actual Comic Con, right? Me and my
Yeah.
wife went. We had a great time though. And the VB meetups were great, but man, it was overwhelming to a person that's for large crowds. Sounds a little overwhelming, right? But it was a great time, and to see that in person, because you see photos of it, but man, to get the experience is totally different. But for me, I really enjoyed it. And me and my wife will be going to DCon this year. I really enjoyed DCon. I enjoyed being in Vegas, being close to everything, everyone being close, and then also being able to go to DCon. I had the VIP badge to get in early and see these designers, and, to get a chance to chat with David and Dan and VV Magic and, everyone that's there at the booth, shout out to my collectibles. And Larry, but it was just fun. So for the first time I'm meeting these people, I got Michael Bowman standing behind me, the VV Will, this just legendary for his collection. And it's like, you're standing there and like you said, you get to put these faces, but these actual people and get to know them. And it's just like, man, it's all love. And you just don't get that everywhere. And I think that that's something that when people think about collecting, they don't understand, or they may not get it unless they actually are there. And when I went to the karaoke, Ninja Karaoke, when we did the party, both days, shout out to Kid Arcade because you got your
Yeah.
Electra in the background. Shout out Kid Arcade for the wonderful work that he does. And Jan for the VV box. It's, like I was shy, right? Because yeah, because I'm there and it's the first time being there. My wife wasn't with me in Vegas because my brother was supposed to come and he backed out. So it was like, I got a chance to chat with Charlie, and man, like chatting with you, like when I met you, it was like I've known you forever. Like you're one of those people that like you're just so warm and welcome, and it's like I've known you forever. So I appreciate you because man, I was a nervous wreck. I mean, I got a chance to, spend some time with a Omi veteran, and obviously Larry, but then, Rudy and Tina and, Dr. Stuff and Tammy and Randy. There was just so many people there and everyone was there and no negative energy, just true collectors just enjoying being there to celebrate the work that the VV team has put in and that has brought us all together. Like Callie and I, we always talk about, like, I talk to Callie probably like once a day. I talk to him more than I talk to my own family, right? Outside of the ones that live here. But it's like, you mentioned it's like he lives in the UK, I'm here in the US. We would never connect. It's tough to connect with people in other cities, other states, let alone other countries, right?
Hmm.
It's been a great experience, and it's just one of those things that is you can't put a price on it. But one of the things I wanted to chat with you about too, because not only are you doing VV content, you started doing some ElmonX videos as well. So what
Hmm.
sparked you to jump into that realm and do that?
I've got a, gosh, my love for art. It's been like since I remember I could pick up a pencil and draw. I'm not the best artist, but in my mind, I'm always trying to just sketch stuff that I think is cool. And there's my brother Nan who actually does this for a living. So he's a very, very talented artist. He draws, he sketches, and he had this one huge painting of like a Harley Davidson motorcycle, and then he would draw like they're more like pinup girls on the motorcycles, and he had it up in his bedroom. And I remember walking in, I'm like, man, that looks so real. I've always wanted to be like the dude, right? Always wanted to draw like him, walk like him, talk like him. And so growing up, we were always in the art. And as the years progressed, I learned about fine art and I learned about the Monets, the Van Goghs, the Picassos, the Da Vinci's. And I started buying just posters, reproduction prints, and then I got into buying actual original prints from our original artwork from other lesser known artists. So I started collecting actual paintings, and then Anna come over and he'll be like, "Dog, that's pretty cool, dude. Like, what is that?" And I'd show him, and he'll look and he'll like, "Man, that's pretty cool." Like, and he would start buy more prints as well. ElmonX came out, and he was like, "Dude, they got Starry Night," and I'm like, "What? What is this?" And he goes, "Hey, they got the Mona Lisa," and I'm like, "Dude." I don't know much about ElmonX. So I started diving. By the time I was already diving, and I was buying. So now I've got a huge collection already, going. And I get in a little bit after he does, and then, we're both loving the stuff that's coming out from ElmonX. And being that we both, we've always been in love with art, fine art pieces later on in life, and you get to understand what the artist was thinking when he or she painted the works of art, and it has more meaning, and it 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 just resonates a little bit deeper with the Mona Lisa. Like we knew why he painted that. I still I can't figure out who that woman is. I don't think anybody knows who really the Mona Lisa really was modeled after. There's I guess there's speculation, but I don't think they really knew. All of that kind of combined with the love of art, the history and the mystery, and Don's like, we need to do an ElmonX video. And I go, yeah. And I'm not, we're not really, really big in the art scene. So it's got to be something that's kind of crude, maybe. Like I'm dumb, and then I find art, and then I'm now in the world of fine art, and I'm sipping wine now versus drinking a beer, type commercial or a video. So that's how the first ElmonX video we did came about. Was like, all right, bro, you're gonna be like a hunter gatherer, right? You're just kind of going about your way, and then you find fine art, and now you're more refined. I go, okay, I could see that. Like, and then you find more art, and you become more, just enlightened by the sculpture of the thinker. And I go, all right, I can do it. I can do it. And you transition from being like a hunter gatherer into, modern man now appreciating fine art because you now understand. I guess there's where you're just not, I guess, doing cave paintings anymore. And now you're looking at the Mona Lisa. I go, I love it. I go from cave paintings to the Mona Lisa. Let's get this done, and we got to get it done in under 2 minutes. So yeah, so we love ElmonX, and we've been buying pieces that we love that we connect with, and we love what Jacob Elmon is doing. We're looking forward to what he's bringing next on the platform. So yeah, man, we can't wait. We can't wait.
Yeah, shout out to ElmonX and Jacob from ElmonX. He is just a super awesome guy. We did a stream with him, and it's just one of those things. You when you meet a founder, you see the passion behind him, right? But to have a second generation founder and you see that passion passed down from the father to the son, that's just a totally different ball game. I've been fortunate enough to work for companies like that. And I feel like it's either hit or miss. The father has the passion and then the sons don't really care for it or the
Hmm.
kids. But when you have like two generations of founders that pass it down and they have that passion and that drive behind it, the project just becomes extremely special. And I feel like Elmonx is doing that. I love the digital, being able to buy AP and
Hmm.
then get, some art. By the way, I got my statue coming from my David. I got my confirmation today. So I'll do an unboxing once that comes out.
Mm.
But super excited for that. But Starry Night is my favorite. I do have a Starry Night. I bought it in the aftermarket. I do want some of the other ones, the earlier ones like the Mona Lisa, just because it's their first.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things. It's like, you got to have that first. So, but I did purchase some other things that I was like, I had the money in hand, but it's like, ooh, that VeVe grail with that mint. Yeah, I got to get that first. So speaking of mints, bro, for you, I'm going to give you what we're going to call a lightning round. And then we're just going to lighten up and just kind of chat. And first thing that comes to mind, no thinking about it, lightning round. You ready?
Let's do it.
All right. All right. So first question, first appearance or secret rare?
FA, first appearance.
Low mint or meaningful mint
Meaningful mint.
or diversification?
Rail.
Flip or diamond hand?
Diamond hand.
Blind box or direct buy?
Fine box.
Marvel or DC?
Marvel.
Disney or Star Wars?
Ooh, Disney. Disney.
Comics or collectibles?
Collectibles.
First mint or special mint? Like 1977 for Star
Special
Wars.
mint.
Physical or digital long term?
Physical.
Okay. So, that's a trick question. I love both. Hence the name Dr. Phygital, right? So, and I kind of see the future is that combination of both, right? Because you always want, there's nothing like having that physical. The digital is nice, but nothing like having that physical. But when you have both and you're able to match up both, it's just
Hmm.
a different type of realm. And I'm glad VV is moving into it. So, Fro, kind of tell me, what can we expect from Fro and Bro coming up in the next up and coming weeks and months? Is there any special projects that you're working on? But then also, once you answer that, can you kind of tell us the amount of effort that kind of goes into the content that you guys create? Because I know it is time consuming.
Oh, yeah, it is. Holy smokes. Well, we do have more ElmonX videos coming. And matter of fact, our next video we're dropping is going to be an ElmonX video. And Anon's already got kind of because when we get together, we sit down at his house and we're sitting at his kitchen table and we write out the script. So just two dudes sitting down, man. My brother will go like, "Hey, for what do you think about this?" And I go, "Yeah, that could work." And I go, "What do you think about this?" And he goes, "Well, I like yours better. Let's do that instead." So we've got pages and pages of the actual script with the dialogue that we're writing down. And if there's dialogue in there he doesn't like, he'll put a line through it. He goes, "Nah, I don't like that. What if we have you say this instead? Or have the narrator say this?" I'm like, "All right, I think that works better." So maybe an hour or so of just sitting down at the kitchen table, writing stuff out. Then we get to where let's go find the location. So we'll jump in the car. And if it's something where we think we can shoot near locally, we'd do like a quick drive by, look and see, well, maybe that's a good spot we got to keep in mind. Or if it if it's something that we need to come back and look at after we look at maybe 4 or 5 other locations, we do that. So we do like maybe another 45 minutes, an hour of just kind of driving by places where we think we can shoot at, and we'd have to hit it to where it's not as crowded as it would be like on a Saturday afternoon. Like,
Gotcha.
because there's times where we're shooting, there's people walking by, and we're like, oh man, it's not gonna work, and they don't want to be on camera, so they're walking by, and they're doing this. So like, please don't get on camera. We're like, yes, ma'am, we won't. We'll pause production until coast is clear. So He like for the one we did for ElmonX out in the dunes, that's a 3 hour long drive to get out to the dunes. Yeah, so 3 hours there, set up, shoot, film, and then break down and 3 hours back home. And that was one where we just can't if we can we'll make it a day out of it. Like we did that one where we're up in the mountains, to Big Bear Lake. That was I think it was a 5 hour drive for that one. But we made it to where we're like we're gonna do stuff, with the family up there. We did lunch, we did dinner, and then we hung out, and then we shot, and we spent uh, like the weekend there, and then we drove back. So it's a lot of time and effort goes into planning and scouting for locations. And it's just not like a one or 2 day thing where sometimes it takes a week for him to plan something out. And while we're planning that out, we're planning out the other trips for other shoots and sites and other scripts. So there's like 3 or 4 things always going on in the background, but whichever one that comes up first is when we shoot first. And while these are going and
Okay.
hey, it's raining, we can't do this one, we gotta wait. So the next one we'll do would be the one where it's not raining and we're able to shoot that scene or let's shoot that video. So it takes a long, long time, brother. Like it could be days, weeks prepping in advance. And when you're out there shooting, it takes hours because nothing's ever right the first time. Um,
Never.
yeah, it never is. Is that he has me do the same scene over and over again, like sometimes 10 times, until he goes, I think that's one we'll keep, it'll work. And by then I'm like, oh, my back is killing me, man. I can't keep falling down on the sand like this or falling out of a tree like this. I bruised 3 ribs falling out of the tree when we did the one up in the mountains. I landed real hard and it looks like it's real because it was real when I fell.
Oh, jeez, brother.
Yeah, I need a stunt double. Yeah, but yeah,
You're
but
Jackie
everything,
Chan of VV
yeah.
content.
Man, yeah, it's it's fun. You get to hang out with your brother, you do cool stuff, and then you drink whiskey or afterwards and talk smack. Yeah, man, it's one of those things where you don't think you'll be doing this later on in life as you're older, but we're doing it because um, I think it it kind of it it showcases our community, like our collectibles in AR. It showcases what we're collecting, like all of the comic books and how things are moving from physical to digital. And you could always make humorous content with it. And it's meant to give you a good laugh at the end of a hard work day. You're out there working all day, you come home and you're just kind of tired and you open up X, you see one of our videos, and you have a good laugh. You're like, yeah, man, that's how you end the day with a good laugh. So that's what we want to bring the good times, man. Like, because we're all in it together.
Now, question, Fro. Do you post on like YouTube too, or is it just X that you post on?
Uh, we're just only doing X.
You got to get a YouTube page, brother, because we need all that content in one area.
That's what Hananu said, like the other day, and I'm like, you know what? That actually makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, yeah, you definitely got to get it. Now, I do have another question for you,
Yeah.
which kind of feeds off of that at some point. So, how nice would it be? I mean, you guys are doing all of this content and all of this hard work because you're having fun, but how nice would it be to have like a ElmonX or VeVe sponsor one of your videos for you guys to do, and you kind of become like a falcon? Is that your dream, or have you even thought about it?
No, we really never thought about it. We've just been doing content because we enjoy making the videos and we enjoy I guess, the feedback that we get from the videos of people having a good time, laughing. But yeah, we really never thought about being endorsed or sponsored by VeVe or ElmonX. Yeah, it wasn't about that. It's about us just cranking out funny videos, like just get everybody in a good mood, like for the weekend. This time when we drop our videos is on the weekend. So yeah, never really thought about it, man.
Yeah, that just, I feel like especially for this community, we have so many talented people, right? And, we've had people that have been in this community a long time just doing things just because they love to do it like yourself. And, it will be nice to have like some sponsorship and maybe it's nothing ridiculous, but it would be nice to have some sponsorship, to show appreciation for the hard work that you do. Happy, Jacob, just tossing that out there. Uh, but it would be nice just because I know that the videos you guys do take a lot of preparation, a lot of time. I definitely with Hinano with you guys creating a YouTube because bro, I'm trying to find your videos and like I have my favorites, right? I do have my favorites. And the ElmonX one was one of my favorites, and I like your pictures like when you're at the swap meet with the Star Wars stuff, so it's like all of those things are, like is bringing fun to the collecting space. And,
Yeah.
it's one of those things that, we as collectors, it's like we have our own sense of humor. Some people would be like, I don't get that. And we're just cracking up laughing because like we know, right? We know the Electra story. They're like, why is that horrible collectible up there? But I really do appreciate everything that you and your brother do to bring humor to the space. And, you guys are on different lives and different things like that. And I know that you already have a regular job that you're doing, as many of
Hmm.
us do. So now, question for you: do you ever think you're gonna get into acting? I mean, you got plenty of content to send in.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think I'm that good. Like my skits are normally just based off of something that we'll see that would spark our, like our creative, juices and get them flowing. Kind of like, so the one for the Coca-Cola thing, we saw something that was similar it was something about maybe adopting an animal. And it was like very like slow violin music playing in the background, showing a sad puppy face, right? And the narrator's kind of like, just for a few dollars a day, you can help, feed these animals at the animal shelter. And so we took that and ran, and that's how we did the VeVe Coca-Cola collectibles, kind of the same way where just a few gems, you can, help Coca-Cola digitals and by bringing them to a new loving home, a new loving vault. So yeah, like our stuff's just meant to be real short and humorous, and I never really thought about doing anything like major, like a 5 minute film of me acting doing something crazy. Yeah, I think that'd be too much time and effort, and I don't think I'm that good, man. I'm good for like a few seconds, but that's it,
No, for real, brother. No, not at all, man. And like I feel like
man.
you guys, when people get a hold of, because I mean, obviously, I think that one of the limitations in regards to kind of like how we're set up as collectors right now is we're kind of dispersed amongst multiple different platforms, right?
Hmm.
We got X, we got our group in X, our group in Facebook, group in Telegram, group in Discord, things of that nature. But man, like to have all of your content on like a YouTube, I think you would go viral for. I'm just telling you, brother.
Wow.
Because, like, I think that what you don't realize what you're doing, and this is just me speaking from how I enjoy your content. I think that you bring people in because not only do you bring that collectible to life, but you bring humor and a reality to it that I feel is missing, right? It's nice to show the collectibles and how, unique they look and that, but it's a totally different thing to connect with it and laugh and go back to that same video and laugh. I mean, how many times have we watched the video and we watched that thing like, 50 times, kind of like the video where, why can I think of the name where he's like he's the school teacher. He's like a Ron. You know what I'm talking about? How many times have
Yeah.
you watched that video? With them or like they were where they did the president doing a handshake. How many times have you watched that video? Because it's just funny, right?
It is.
But it brings awareness to the project. And I think that that's what you guys do that you don't realize what you're doing is you bring awareness to the
Hmm.
project. And I think that, if you guys had a page and where the community could share and bring people to your page. I think that it will help the space as well. So I just want to give you your flowers while you're on here, Fro, because I know that everyone would agree with me that we appreciate all that you do. And once again, I appreciate you coming on stream to kind of chat with us. But I know that we're over time, but we started late. But I do have like one other question and maybe a few other questions that kind of tag along with that. Stepping outside of digital collecting, you said you're a physical collector as well, right?
Hmm.
So what do you still physically collect? And like, what's the most meaningful to you out of your collection?
You know, I'm always buying Transformers, but I'm mainly buying the Generation Ones, Generation Twos, the older stuff from the '80s, and you know, I just bought one last week, and then I'm also buying stamps. I got a huge stamp collection, believe it or not. I buy sports memorabilia. I just bought a piece a few weeks ago. Well, I don't have it here. It's an autographed photo of Charles Haley from the
Mhm.
49ers. I think he was
Okay.
a yeah, so Charles Haley, yeah, I just bought that and football, baseball cards, basketball cards. I buy a pack, you know, every now and then just to kind of chase some of the rookies that are super hot and everyone's going after them. I want to get one myself so I can send in for grading and maybe just keep. Same thing with Pokemon and this that new thing that just came out, One Piece, right? I think it's called One Piece.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, just this thing right here. So you went, I bought a box of this. That One Piece is still
Okay.
unopened. I don't think I'll ever open it unless I'm, you know, bored one afternoon. But yeah, it's what is that? The One Piece 14, I think is what it's called, the 14. So yeah,
Okay.
I'm always buying, brother, but I can't stop. If it's not on VeVe, not on ElmonX, it's in real life. So
Okay.
yeah, I don't think I'll ever come to a point in time in my life where I'm like, that's enough. Like, I'm not gonna buy anymore. It's always something where you come across something, especially at an antique shop, you see it and you're like, I'm never gonna see this again. Like, I'm never gonna come back to this antique shop, you know, 5 hours away from my house ever again. Time to buy is now. I end up
Yeah.
buying, brother. Like, do I? I leave like, you know, two shopping bags out of an antique shop, man. So bad.
You know, it is. And now man, you're like giving me that itch to go to the flea. So funny enough, so obviously, you know, I'm from Ohio. And since I've been in Atlanta, I have not gone to a flea market out here. And I need to now. You're giving me
What?
that itch, bro. I'm just telling you. By the way, brother, if you are ever in Atlanta, you have a place to stay. Come visit. I'm just telling you right now. All right. I got a spare bedroom. You have a place to stay if you ever come this way. So I'm just going to toss that out there.
Yes.
But, yeah, I think you've given me that itch that I'm gonna have to find my way to, like, a flea market. I do miss that. Funny enough, I will go if I go back to Ohio because I know where it's at, I know what to expect,
Mhm.
and I will share one complete terrible story that I am just so disappointed in. Actually, it's like a two-part story in regards to collecting sports memorabilia. I remember, I picked up a Michael Jordan rookie card at the flea market, right? It was in a plaque. I had it,
Ooh.
and I also had like a whole binder of football, baseball, basketball cards that I've had since I was 15. And I think I've been searching for it, but I can't find it in my house. I think it's here. I hope that I didn't leave it in Ohio when we sold the house. But that Michael Jordan card was in Ohio, and when we cleared out my parents' house, that got thrown away.
No.
Dude, dude, yeah, got thrown away. Um, yeah, so I am hoping that I still do have that whole binder of cards because I'm a huge Emmett and Barry Sanders fan. But I have like tons of cards in there, and I was looking for it the other day because we just did a show with a physical collector from Cleveland, and he has like a whole basement full of just memorabilia that he had signed. And I was like, yeah, what? See,
I'm
dang it,
trying to
Fro.
complete the
See,
set,
Fro, we
brother.
need to do a whole nother show just on your physical collectibles.
I'm
Cause
trying to
I
complete that
wasn't aware
set.
that you were a huge collector like that in
Yeah,
physical.
all right. Yeah, no, these are so I had to pick these up because you know we're trying to complete the whole 80 the Fleer set,
Okay.
and you know these were the two that I was missing. Of course, you know Jordan is the other one. I'm trying to get these to the point where I can get them all graded at least nines, PSA nines, and then
Okay.
eventually get my hands on a Jordan that I could send in. If I could buy one raw for a decent price, I'll send it in for grading myself. But that set that you're talking about, it's funny you said it. And I'm here I am just pick these two up. Um,
Dude, sick.
yeah, that is so funny. Like they're literally sitting right here. I just reached off camera to pick them up.
Dude, that's That's probably like the worst piece of my collecting history of when I think back to that and
Dang,
I'm like, yeah, that got thrown away.
thrown
That's
out.
terrible. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got a Michael Jordan autograph piece that I have hanging up framed on my wall here.
Uh,
That I traveled back to Charlotte to pick up.
okay.
So yeah, I think
Yeah.
did I mention that to you that I flew back to Charlotte for that one to pick up?
No. Uh-uh.
Yeah, so this like this piece is kind of like right after they'd won the Olympics. It was a dream team and it's on the cover, the Newsweek cover. It was for a charity auction. Jordan assigned it, and they went up for auction at a charity event, and it sold for I don't know X amount of dollars right away. And the original owner who had it sold it, was getting ready to sell it. Someone swooped in, bought it, and I bought it from that person that bought it from the original owner. So I literally had to fly out to Charlotte, North Carolina to pick this piece up and fly back. I wasn't going to trust the USPS mail system or FedEx. Or I've heard horror stories, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been authenticated. It's got the stickers. It's got the little certificate of authenticity, and it's got the provenance of the story of it being auctioned off for a charity event. Because Michael Jordan, when he was living in North Carolina, he has a house on Lake Wiley just outside of Charlotte. And
Okay.
during the summer months, he would have a basketball camp for the kids to come to his house on the lake, and they do the basketball camp thing, and he'd do some signings, meet and greets, and sign autographs and all that good stuff. And this piece is one of the ones he had signed for the charity event. I was like, because I grew up just right outside of Charlotte, so I was like,
Okay.
I got to get this piece. So yeah, that's the story behind that. Like I will travel to pick up pieces.
I'm not mad at you, brother. That's worth traveling for. And now that I know that you have like this huge caliber of physical collectors, we need to do a second stream. We
Ooh,
have to get that scheduled to go over like some of your physical pieces, if you don't mind, because I really want to go over not only the digital side, but the physical as well. So since you have those pieces, man, just tossing it out there, Fro. We need to jump on
mm-hmm.
another stream and just go over your physical pieces.
Let me know.
But outside of that, Fro, is there anything that you feel like that I should have asked you that I didn't ask, or anything that you want to share with the collectors while we're still on before we jump?
No, no, no. I think you pretty much asked all the questions that I would have probably spoke about had you not asked them. Yeah, man. Like I still want to know more about you. Like I wanted to ask you a bunch of questions, but you kind of went
Sure.
through and started, telling me more about yourself before I got a chance to ask the questions. Like, so yeah, I didn't
What you
know you
want
was
to
from
know, brother? I'm an
Ohio.
open book.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
dude, so in Atlanta, huh? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So we've been out here for 7 years now. So this year makes 7 years. We do love it. And as you know, I have four daughters. That's why I have no hair furrow. And, we just welcomed our fourth grandchild, about 2 weeks ago. So Angel just arrived. So
Oh,
I got
wow.
two grandsons, two granddaughters. That's why I got these grays in this beard fro. But it's been good though, and I jumped in collecting right around the same time as you. I jumped in at the end of October of 21.
Mm-hmm.
So my first one was a DeLorean. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
That's
so
nice.
what else,
That's
brother?
nice.
What other questions could I answer for you? I know I'm a talker, so I can answer any questions that you got.
Yeah, what do you want to see on VeVe? That's my question. What do you want to see come to VeVe?
Well, so first off, Naruto. That's like if we're talking what I want to see coming to VBS Naruto. I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna be mint hunting like no other for Naruto. Just tossing that out there. I think for me, I would really like to see from a platform standpoint, I would like to see token gaining with gaming. I would like to see us be able to use our collectibles in different games. I think that that's kind of like the next evolution, right? To be able to take your Lamborghini and use it. I mean, I would love to be the person to like create almost like a sandbox where you show up with your collectible, it can be authenticated, and in a race car game, you're driving your actual purple Aventador.
Mm,
I would love to see that. So I think for me, I think it's the gaming piece. I mean, obviously, I love VeVe because I had Masteroni. Shout out to Masteroni. Build out my Iron Man VeVe, but I feel like the VeVe has really. I don't want to say died, but it's really slow. But I know it's a lot to do with limitations and challenges and things like that. So I think that as technology moves on, I think that will be good. But I really would like to see, also, like, when once we get the glasses, so I have Meta glasses, but they're not what I would like, to the point of where we can geo map collectibles so people can see them. So I think that for me, that's a big thing because I want to be able to like hang up my Starry Night and have it in like a digital display for people to see. So that's why I
Hmm.
really like ElmonX. Similar to you, I love art, right? So I would love to have my Starry Night and then know that there's only 12 of them in the world and I got one in my house. All right. And then I would also like to have almost like a 3D digital display. I mean, I work from home now, but I do go into the office like once a week. But I would like to have like a 3D where it kind of like shows my men of, my water, my Vader, Iron Man to display in my office. So I think that those are the things that I would really like to see, but a lot of that is not up to VB. It's just technology catching up, and there's some things that, that I'll share with you that I'm working on, once we get off, we'll chat a little bit longer that I'll
Yeah.
be rolling out. So, but I think that that's kind of like what I want to see. Yeah.
No, that's cool, man. No, like I nail on the head every single time. I think you hit it the same exact way I probably would have said it too. Like, yeah, and especially Naruto. Man, that and
Yeah.
Pokemon. Oof, yeah,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, I think that, and I think it's gonna be, man, OMW, man, he got me so hyped for this year and next year. He's like, man, it's gonna be some good 2 years. And I'm like, now we got Airbender dropped. I'm like, yeah, it's gonna be some good 2 years. So, so I'm excited, man. And it's good to see them still building, but also being smart about building, right? So we don't run into problems like some of the other platforms because there's nothing worse for the space than to see other companies go down. You want to see them succeed.
Hmm.
I do like to collect on other platforms. So, I did have a kid called Beast. I did Mutant Ape, obviously ElmonX. I was in Swoosh, so I still have my collectibles through there. And then I do love fabrics. So I have some of his pieces as well. So,
Hmm.
there's just so many good projects to get into. But I really love Suye as well, the London Police.
Hmm.
So I was talking to Video Shane, and we were kind of talking about like it would be nice for a group of us to go there and actually visit the art gallery together. Same thing for talk with Magic about all of us getting together and going to Disney World or Disneyland and just kind of spending some time. I didn't get a chance to do that when they did, but it's like now we have those that ability to connect and say, hey, how about we all do this and kind of go from there? I'm not as shy now because I kind of know some folks, right? So, but yeah.
No, that's
What
cool.
other
That's cool.
questions?
Yeah. So, you said Naruto. You think DC Candy Digital? Like, do you collect on that platform as well?
Man, so yeah, so I did, right? I actually do have some things on the platform. I do have like a cow and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
Had yeah, I bought, I think it was Flash One. I got Legendary and I sold it. And I was gonna get the Legendary Superman because I wanted one of those. But I held off because I was really unsure about the future of it. So
Hmm.
I never bought one, and I'm kinda like in that boat of where, like, it's kinda like a situation where, like, I'm kinda glad that I didn't because it's unsure, right? But then also in
Hmm.
the boat of, "Man, I probably should have grabbed one just in case they do work it out because it's just, 150 editions for Legendary, Superman 1. You wanna hold on to those grails and for like, I want grails in different projects. I want the Mona Lisa, I want the Superman, so I do want, like, those different things, the OG Board Ape, but I have to be honest, sometimes I find difficulty in, like, if I buy something that I think could be valuable, I may buy it just because I wanna hold it, right? But
Mhm.
if I buy something that I love and is valuable, that's a different ballgame. So that's why I was like, okay, do I buy the Mona Lisa or do I buy the 1971 partner statue? Partner statue, then it's like, okay, I got the money again. Do I buy that Mona Lisa or do I buy the 77 Vader? 77 Vader, but another thing too is I believe in both projects, but like the others are fun to me and they really connect with me, right? Like that partner statue, like, me and my family will go to Walt Disney World. I'm looking forward to putting that 1971 partner statue in Walt Disney World, knowing that I'm the only person that has the year that Walt Disney World opened that met,
Mhm.
right? Or that 77 Vader, so sometimes it kind of goes back and forth with that. And I think I think the only collectible, and I want to get your opinion on this. This is a great question. I want to
Mhm.
get your opinion on this. The only collectible that I struggle with buying is a secret rare Miles Morales. And as much as I love Spider-Man, I struggle with the price. Then for me, it's like I would rather buy a regular SR Peter Parker Spider-Man and a couple partner statues. It's hard for me to like buy a Miles Morales, even though I know it could, you know what I mean? I know the importance of it, but I just struggle. I don't know what it is about that collectible, and I know it's a grail, but I cannot bring myself to spend the money to buy that. I would rather buy a special mint of something else. What do you think, Fro? What do you think about that collectible?
I'm in the same boat. Like I've been so many near misses. Like in so many, just me passing up on other pieces. To me, that would be like a grail piece for me with the special mint. I skipped out on a lot where I could have. What, I'll buy the SR Peter Parker. But then I ended up not doing that. I ended up buying something else with the mints that I want and overpaying, of course. Like, ugh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the,
Yeah, I
the
think we all do.
2099 popped up and I'm like, I gotta get it because if I don't buy it now, I'll probably never see it ever again. So I do
Yeah.
have the 2099 Miles Morales, the 2099 Ghost Spider, the 2099 Gwen Stacy, the one where her mask come on and off,
Oh
2099
wow.
black suit, the FA black
Do
suit
you
comic,
really?
collectible black suit collectible, the FA 2099, I think Doc Ock, 2099 Mysterio, 2099 FA Green Goblin in the comic. Like my 2099 collection is ridiculous, man. That
Yeah.
universe for me was like nostalgia, right? That's where I ended up going that route versus buying the SR Peter Parker, like how you
Yeah.
did. So I know what I wanted to do. I ended up doing something I had to do with the 2099. Just I wanted the SR, but I didn't. Kind of same thing with the Miles Morales. So many chances they're like close within my grasp, but then I go, I'll never see his 2099 again.
Yeah.
Shifted and went and bought. Like, dude, I'm never going to see it again. So every time I get close to it, it just kind of within my grasp, and then it goes away. Like same boat, same boat.
And I think that for certain people, like, we have been here a long time, right? And I remember paying, like close to $3,000 for my Iron Man, and it was just a random number, right? So when I look at the time, I remember us saying, if we ever get an opportunity, I am going to take full advantage. And I feel like we've had this opportunity, and I feel like come 5 years from now, because a lot of these special mints, low mints are in the vaults of some very special mint collectors that have no intention on getting rid of these, right? And like you said, if it hits the market again, if it ever does, it's going to be extremely expensive. Or, we tend to sell to each other, right? So it's like,
Hmm.
hey, I got a 2099 Spider-Man. I'm reaching out to Fro before I put it on the market and make that deal first, right? So I feel like if some people they're looking at where we're at right now and not seeing the future of where we could be. And it's like, yes, I know that that sounds like a lot of money right now, but the reality is if you hold on to that piece, you may never see that hit the market again. Like that 1971 That's gone. You guys, whoever wants it, is gone. You can forget it. It's never hitting the market again. That Vader, never hitting the market again. That Iron Man 63, never hitting the market again. So it's
Wow.
like there's collectibles. And like you said, there's going to be collectibles that if they go into the vaults of Michael Bowman, if they go into Mr. Champs, Rudy and Tina, Charlie and FT, you are
Hmm.
never seeing those again.
Yeah.
Never. Mr. Rolex, Dr. Rolex. You're never seeing any of his collection. So it's like for me this time, and I think of it like this is if I was willing to pay, I remember that for my Vader, I paid almost $3,000 for my Vader. And it's like, if I was willing to pay $3,000 at the peak for that Vader and it was valuable to me then why would I not pay the additional money to get that special mint that no one else will be able to get and be able to flex, right? So I think that that's how I kind of look at it now, where it's like I'm not digging myself into a hole, right? I'm not charging out any credit cards or anything, but it's like if I see something that is valuable to me, and it's like if I was willing to pay 2,000 for an Elsa, I bought my sub 100 Elsa for like 1,000. I remember my wife bought me an Elsa for my birthday for like two. Why would I not, right? So just chatting that out there. But what else, Fro, could I answer for you, brother, or questions that you may have?
Now you're talking about the 1971 Walt. What if, like, like one of the major auction houses at Christie's going to digital? Because I think they did like one of those Fabergé eggs or something by Fabergé that where they sold the actual physical and you also got the digital that was like minted to maybe I think 200 or less that you got as an NFT. What if like something like these would go, hey, we're now doing NFTs with provenance because the blockchain is there from start to finish of who minted, who sold it to the next person, now into your hands. 1971, there you go. We would love to auction it off. Kind of like that Pokemon I sold for $16 million that, Logan Paul had. Would that be something that you go, this can secure enough money for my grandkids for them to do this, this, and this. And if grandpa did this, and yeah, they'd be able to do this, and you'd be leaving behind like a legacy for them. Like, would that be something you'd consider selling off at that point in time?
Yeah, I probably would. It's funny you said that. When we interviewed with Comics and Crypto, we were kind of going over like those, like, because you had those like top, 5 or 10 mint numbers that have significance and importance.
Yeah.
And it's like for me, that one I would, but it would be hard for me to do it, but not to say that I wouldn't, right? So like, I think that, let's be honest, everybody got a price, right?
Yeah.
But then also like to be able to say, I think that, it also comes with a prestige to say that you had something sold, right, on Christie's. And I think it's the same with kind of like your 2099 collection, right? In the collecting community, we are kind of like tied to our identities are tied to kind of like the things that we collect. And it gives you kind of like that special respect that comes with it, right? All things Disney, VeVe Magic is the person, hands down.
Yeah,
Doesn't matter. You know what
absolutely.
I mean?
Yeah.
You know, uh, you know, one of one art, you're talking to Roly Michael Bowman, hands
Hmm.
down, right? So it's like, you have those people. And I think that um what some people don't realize is when you acquire some of these different pieces, it does give you a status of where people they trust what you say because they see that you have conviction. Because in order to spend, like you said, if you can buy it for $10 and you're paying 20, there has to be conviction behind that. And you know what I mean? If not, then you end up like we did. I know you did it because I know that I did it in the beginning where you're like, I'm going to buy this and I have this conviction for this. And you really wasn't attached to it, right? You're just like, everything's pumping. I'm going to buy this. And all of a sudden, it's not pumping to what you wanted it to. And then something that you really wanted comes up. You're like, yeah, I'm about to sell this for a little bit lower than what I paid for it, but I really want this. And so, I think that, all of us kind of go through that. But I do think that especially during this era. I think that we're going to look back and realize that, the hype bubble was 2021, 2020, 2021, 2022. But I feel like the era of the mint hunting is going to be this era of the bear market that we've been in for the past
Mhm.
several years, where true collectors collected what they love, special mints that are going to mean something, not only as far as nostalgia, but also value come 5 years from now, because when the masses come in, there's only going to be so many of those collectibles. And, having a collection such as yours. And just FYI, another thing that I really want to come, and I know Dr. Collect is working on this, is being able to make an offer for a collection. That is a
Mm,
big thing that I want, because I know that I've reached out to special mint hunters that have things, and I'm like, can I get that 1939? They're like, I gotta sell the set together. Or can I get that
yeah.
special mint? I gotta sell the set. So I think that that's going to be a huge thing as well. So I just think that come years down the line, when these things are no longer on the market, we talk about it and it's easy to say they'll always be there now. But when the masses come in and when there are not as many of the OG collectibles that
Mhm.
we collected with those mints, if you see them, it's going to be a ridiculous price. So let's
Oh,
just,
yeah.
be chat.
No, that it did, like, that literally I can't remember who that person was that has the Homer and Bart and the skateboard from the 1989, with the
Yeah.
1989 matching mint, and if that ever goes to auction, you're looking at it's gotta be at least over a cool mil, because that's, like,
Yeah.
the one, the only FA year for Bart, Homer, and the skateboard. Because I think when that premiered, I was on, like, on the Tracy Ullman show, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, and,
I believe so.
yeah, that's a grill piece there too. So,
And that's, oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry?
No, no, go right ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good, brother, you're good. Like, I was just gonna say that was something that would be a set that you couldn't break up, you'd have to sell together.
Absolutely. And I know that there's people with like Brian, and I don't remember his last name. He's got the Iron Man and Avengers 616, right? You gotta sell that together. Tried to buy it, he ain't selling it, but I'm trying to buy it. But or but then you also have those pieces like you talked about, like 63 SW, shout out to him on Twitter, who's mint hunter, but he's got that 1901 Walt. Walt's birthday, right? Then you got Tina and Rudy with the 1923, and Being Real with the
55.
1955, Disneyland opening. So it's like there are so many great pieces, but there's only so many top fives or top tens. And when you're talking top tens out of 4,000 of one of the most popular people, hands down, our app, I think that people really do sleep on the partner statue, even though they give it as status. It is a huge, huge grill that just because we have 4,000 plus of those, they tend to forget. But yeah, there's going to come a time when those are just going to go crazy. But I agree with you, that, I'm trying to build up my Iron Man collection, and I would love to be able to display. I think that that's one thing I would like is I know that we can on VB, we can choose what we want to show in our profile, right? But it would be
Mhm,
nice to actually like group things together to say, here's my 2099 collection. Here's my SR collection. I think that that would be cool. So when people visit your profile, you can have a specific, like tab that says specifically what is in that one to say, hey, this is my, Iron Man sub 50 set, or my Iron Man, 1963 set. I think that that would be cool. But I know that's a lot of work for VeVe. They got plenty of other stuff that they need to do. So I'm not concerned with it. But I just think that it would be cool, especially for new users. And I would like for people that are not on VeVe to be able to see some of our collections. Like if there was like almost like a public thing where they necessarily don't have to join VeVe to see our sets. You can scan the QR code and take you to VeVe to see my specific set, because it's like, you got to log in, you got to create a profile. Sometimes you just want to show them, right?
Hmm.
I think you should get that attention as well to be able to have that ease of scan this QR code, takes you to my profile. You can't see anything else other than my profile, but here's my profile of what I have. And then maybe we can get some additional traction that way as well.
Oh, you're right. I mean, that would be cool. Like, I'd be down for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, because I think that that's, from the VeVe verse, I think that that was probably one of the misses is you have to be invited into a space, right? There was no way to invite
Hmm.
an outside person to view your space. And man, there's just some, I mean, obviously Masteroni and
Hmm.
Collectors Gone Digital. I mean, they built some phenomenal spaces, but you can only see it if you're in there and if you're invited to it. So, other than the videos, I think that's just, yeah. Once again, just me talking. Armchair CEO. I know nothing about technology. What else, bro? Anything else, brother? Any other questions?
Nah, I think I'm at the next time I come on, I'm gonna have a lot more questions at the ready for you. Stuff that I'm gonna probably come out of left field with. Like now that I
Okay.
know your collecting journey, now it's making me think. I'm gonna go back and because I do want to come back and hang out. This time it'll be different because I'm gonna
Yeah.
have a list of questions for you. And
All right,
I think
brother.
it'll be fun. And yeah, like it's maybe I'll get my brother on too. He's doing some charity golf event, so he could
Okay.
not break away from that today. So that's where he's at. He sent me a photo. I'm like, yeah, very nice, very nice. Like if you get a chance, listen on in. So, but yeah, next time
All
for
right.
sure,
Yeah.
brother. I'll be ready.
Yeah, yeah. I'm looking forward to it, man. Obviously, and I always tell people, because I do interviewing, that's my job. So, I'm director of talent acquisition. So I interview for a living, right? But I
Hmm.
necessarily don't like to speak in spaces and I don't like to hear myself talk. But I wanted to start to do this because, it gives me an opportunity to connect with some of the collectors. I think that going to the events really kind of helped me to toe dip and start to feel comfortable to reach out to people and talk to them. But then also with what I'm working on, the project that I'm working on, I wanted a platform where I can talk to other collectors because where it starts is not where it's going to finish. It's going to continue to evolve. And I'm excited to, once we get a little bit further along, to kind of share. So I'm meeting with the dev team like every week, but it will be an app. We're looking to do beta testing next month in April. So, and then hopefully by end of July, we will go live. So, and I think it is something that the collectors will really enjoy. And I believe that it will complement not only VeVe, but other platforms as well. So I'm excited, man, to share what we're working on. But do me a favor if you wouldn't mind. So for
Yeah.
the people in the audience, would you mind sharing your socials in case they want to reach out to you or watch any of your content until you get your YouTube page?
Yeah, absolutely. You can find us on X. I'm at fro_clover, and my brother is at ANONH for life. And you know what? We do need to get our YouTube page up because that's something that's come up so many different times. Every time we're on live stream with someone else, and like it'd be so much easier if you had it. So we just go right down to your video instead of scroll through your X. I'm like, you make so much more sense, but like we never really thought about monetizing anything or doing it, it was just mainly for our small community on X. But now you've talked me into getting a YouTube page set up only because it would kind of help expand our space and bring more people into the community. And just that's what I'm all about is getting more eyes on our projects that we thoroughly love and enjoy collecting on. I'm all for it. So thank you. Anon and I will have a talk.
All right, fair enough. Shout out to Dia Hanano and True Media. We will be getting him on this month. We are just trying to coordinate a time, but I definitely want to get them on and join one of their streams. They are just super awesome,
Oh, they
super
are.
sweet people. So and it's funny, so like I saw them at Vegas, but like I was too shy to speak. Once again, there were quite a few people like Sean from Comics and Crypto. Now I've had him on
Oh,
the
yeah.
on the stream and that. So next time I will not be that shy, but looking forward to having them on. For those of you that tuned in to listen to my brother Fro and I for this conversation. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, collect what you love, connect with the community. We look forward to seeing you again on Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern. We will have the real Randy Chavez on for a stream. And then next Sunday, we will have one of our favorite people on my way from the VeVe team on Sunday at 5 p.m. So we look forward to seeing you guys then. Please make sure to like and subscribe to not only Fro's page, but mine as well on YouTube and here, Collect and Connect dash Dr. Fidgetal. We look forward to seeing you guys for the next cast. Have a great day and have a great week.